We'll start today sitting in a comfortable cross-legged position. And if your knees are way up here, it's very hard to not round your back. And so the suggestion is to lift your hips onto a blanket or a towel or a cushion so that your hips and knees are roughly level, or ideally your knees are lower than your hips. That makes sitting a lot more comfortable. But I'm not in your body, so if you're comfortable as you are, great. Let's just inhale and roll the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale and roll them down. And then let the eyes close if they're open. Feel the weight of gravity sinking your bones into the ground. The floor of the belly dropping down. Shoulders relaxing. And feel the uplift of the breath as you inhale and extend the spine toward the sky. And see if you can maintain those opposites of lifting and opening, furthered by the inhale, and relaxing and sinking. Easier when you exhale. And then in the softened belly, the breath, fill into the bottom of the lungs. And then let the breath move from the bottom of the lungs into the middle of the lungs and expanding the ribs. And then fill the whole lungs from bottom to top, expanding belly, ribs, chest. Feeling the upward movement of the inhale and the downward release of the exhale. And we'll have the palms facing down on the knees. And we'll start to circle the torso around, sending the chest out and the eyes up across the front of the circle as you inhale, rounding the back, tucking the chin, leaning away from the hands as you exhale. So it's not just the neck that's moving, the whole spine, arches and rounds. And we're not really using the hands They're just resting there lightly, not pulling. And then on your next breath, reverse directions. And coming back to center. On your next inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, fold forward, letting the hands come down, letting the elbows bend, letting the head drop. And then focus on the breath, trying to fill from the bottom of the lungs to the top. And you might notice that because your body is folded over, that same breath doesn't feel the same. The posture will help the breath make space in other parts of the body. And so just see how the shape of the body works with the breath to make the stretch a little bit deeper, make the body a little more open. And then also see where you feel the relaxation as you exhale and let go. Hopefully the hands and arms are completely relaxed. You're not pulling or pushing. So forward bends are a really great opportunity to practice surrender. We'll be here for another few breaths and just see how little you can do, how little resistance you give gravity, and just let it take you down. Are the elbows bent, or is there some sort of tension happening in the arms? What about the jaw? One more breath here. And then on your next inhale, slowly roll up. Kelly, if you can face your camera a little bit more downward, I see your ceiling, but I don't see much of you. Okay, thank you. And then we'll just note the cross of your legs and release them. Shake them out. Rub the knees if that would feel good. I think when I started teaching yoga, it never occurred to me to say that. I was young and had good joints. And then we'll cross again with the opposite leg in front or on top. Sitting nice and tall, feeling the heart lifted. Sometimes when I make the suggestion to lift, the instinct is to lift the chin. So you always want to keep the chin parallel to the ground or even a little bit lower so the back of the neck is long. Relax the shoulders. Feel the breath, belly, ribs, chest. And then we'll place the left hand on the ground and slide it out as far as you can without the right sit bone lifting up. And then bend the elbow and drop down even more. And then We'll take the right arm and we'll make big circles. Doesn't matter which way you go. We're going to go both directions. And let your eyes follow your fingers. And let the movement follow your breath. So where does it make to inhale? Where does it make sense to exhale? Reverse directions, moving with the breath so that as you inhale, the body can receive it fully. As you exhale, there's a natural letting go. And the next time the arm comes over the head, hold it there. Push into that left hand, really sinking into the right sit bone. And then see if that left elbow can bend even more. Turn your gaze up and tuck your chin toward your armpit, keeping the back of the neck long. If that doesn't work for you, then just look down. Maintain pressure in your left hand, sinking into the right buttock, and then stretch out long through the right hand. And then breathe into the whole open space the posture has created. Okay, and then we'll turn and fold over that left leg. So keep the hand on a diagonal. Don't go so far over to the left. So you want to line your heart center up with your knee, and then the arm is just wherever it is. Heart center over knee. Pushing back the right buttock by pressing into the left hand. And then see if the breath feels like it's going somewhere different now than it did in the side bend we just did. So we're still open on that right side, but there's of course a different shape, different things are being stretched, and see if there's a relationship between that and where you feel the breath. What happens when you breathe deeper? Can you feel the breath spreading to cover more territory inside? On your next inhale, lift and paint a rainbow across the sky with that right arm. And then bring the hand all the way down to the ground. Walk it away as far as you can without lifting the left sit bone. So you still feel just as much weight in the left sit bone as the right sit bone. And then go ahead and let that elbow bend. And then we'll take the left arm into big circles, letting the gaze follow the hand, letting the breath and the movement coordinate. Reverse directions. And the next time you find the arm over your head, hold it there. Give another press down into your right hand, really lengthening down through that left buttock, bending the elbow toward the ground, turning the gaze toward the sky, turning the awareness inward, and feeling the breath. And then we'll fold over that right leg, lining the chest up with the knee, walking the left arm out on the diagonal, repressing into the right hand, sending the left sit bone back, feeling the breath inside, tracing with your mind's eye the route that the breath takes, the distance it covers, the places it expands. Maybe breathing deeper to open more places. On your next inhale, reach that arm up and over and down. Release the legs, shake them out. Give the knees some love if you'd like. Then circle the feet around at the ankles. What's happening with your breath? Circle the other way. Good. And then cross the ankles, flip over them, coming to hands and knees. Lining the hands up under the shoulders, the knees under the hips. So we're going to move the spine like cat and cow, but we're going to also add a little bit of hips by extending the leg. So sunbird pose. On the inhale, the body is just like a cow pose, and we'll send the left leg back and up, looking up, just like cow pose, looking up. And then exhale, pulling the knee to the forehead, forehead to knee, like a cat pose, just adding the leg. Inhaling, leg up and back, eyes up. Exhaling, rounding. Push the floor away, pull the belly up. Good. Continue at your own pace. The next time you exhale, just bring the knee down, but not on the ground. And then we'll circle that knee off to the side. Work with your breath. Circle the other way. Okay. And then send the leg back, that left leg. Pull the belly up to support your spine. Keep your gaze down on the ground between your hands and send your right arm forward. Breathe as though you're breathing the length of your body from fingers to toes. And then bend your left leg, reach back for your foot, kick the foot up and back, gazing up, breathing across your collarbones. Okay, release the leg, bring the hand down and slide that left knee all the way in between your hands. And if you want to deepen the hip stretch, bring your foot forward some more. Come on to the fingertips. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Inhale. As you exhale, take weight out of your fingers and let your hips sink down some more. Feel the inhale rolling up the front of the body. Looks great, you guys. Really nice. With each exhale, taking weight out of the hands, letting the hips drop. One more breath here, and then we'll take it into a sleeping pigeon, holding over the leg. So give your head something to rest on if it doesn't reach the ground. Stack your hands or fists under your forehead. And then breathe as deeply as you can, feeling the space that you're making with your inhale, and relaxing into the ground with your exhale. And as you lift yourself up, let yourself sink to the left, coming onto the left sit bone. And then we'll swing that right leg all the way around and cross it over the left leg. Now, if sitting like this does not allow you to have both sit bones on the ground, so maybe that right sit bone is coming off the ground in this position, then you want to straighten your left leg so that both sit bones can be on the ground. We need the foundation to be even. And then we're going to draw that right knee toward the left shoulder. And as you do that and you pull, see if that can help you lift taller. And drop the shoulders. And then as you inhale, reach the right arm out to the side. Follow your thumb with your eyes. Take it all the way around to the back behind you. And then bring that right hand to the floor, close to your buttocks. You can keep your hand to the outside of your right knee, or you can hook your elbow over, bring the index finger to the thumb, and place that on or toward your heart center, continuing to look over your right shoulder. And as you inhale, get taller through the spine, make space between the vertebrae. As you exhale, use your hand or your arm and gently turn yourself. So we don't want to force. Yoga is never done by force. There's a natural relaxation response that happens as you exhale. So maybe even take the next breath, not trying to turn deeper into the twist, and just feeling how you soften inside as you exhale. And then you're just going to guide that softening into the twist on your next exhale. So you're not pushing, you're just helping the body move into it gently. See if the breath can find its way up the midline of your body from your tailbone to your head as you inhale. Okay. And then on your next inhale, release back to the front. Release the legs. Come back to hands and knees. And we'll do another round of sunbird on the other side. On your inhale, the right leg goes back and up. The spine drops down, the eyes look up. On the exhale, round, bend the knee. So if you can, on the inhale, you want to straighten that leg and lift it up. And then exhale, bend and round. On your next exhale, you'll just let the knee come down, not touching down, just straight down. And then we'll make big circles in the air with that knee, working with your breath. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Rotate the other way. Okay. And then send the legs straight back. Come into our alternate arm and leg balance. So lift the belly up to support the spine. Take the gaze straight down so the neck is straight like the rest of the spine. Send the left arm forward. Breathe long and slow. Reach the left hand back, find the right foot. If you don't reach it, then hopefully you have a towel to wrap around the foot. Then we're going to kick that foot back and up, taking the eyes up, rolling the shoulder back. Release the hand and slide that right knee through, deepening the hip stretch by bringing the foot Move forward if you want. Might also be a little bit nicer on the knee to have less of a bend, you'll see. Then come up onto the fingertips, our little pigeon claws. First, we'll push down into them to lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. And then as we inhale, opening the front of the body, exhale, take weight out of the hands and see if your hips can sink down a little bit. You can relax the back toes, pushing down on the inhale to lift, and then releasing the push of the fingers on the exhale to sink. Last breath here, and then folding over. Rod, if you have something to prop your right hip, that would be helpful. Block or a pillow or something. Yeah, right under your right butt. So don't change the posture. Just be in the same way, trying to be straight, not trying to come down onto the right, trying to be straight, but then just sticking that prop under the right buttock for support. That looks right. I can't see the back of you, but it looks good from the front. Good. And just keep breathing here for another few breaths. Okay, and then when we come up, the weight is going to come down onto the right buttock. We're going to circle that left leg all the way around and cross the foot over. And then check to see if the left sit bone has as much weight on it as the right. If it doesn't, straighten the right leg. And then we'll pull the knee toward the right shoulder. And in doing that, also lift tall through the spine. Beautiful. As we inhale, we'll take that left arm out. Let the gaze follow the hand so that you're not just turning from your head. Really feel your navel and your ribs turning. And then plant the hand right behind you on the ground, rolling that shoulder open, folding the left shoulder blade in toward the spine. And then when you inhale, press down into the left hand to get taller, longer. Exhale, turn. If you want to hook your elbow to the outside and take Gyan Mudra to your heart, you have that option. Feel the breath creating length as you breathe in. Turning as you breathe out. And your next inhale brings you back to center. Release the legs, shake them out. And then come back onto hands and knees, please. We'll take the hands one hand's length in front of the shoulders. Fingers spread wide, pointing forward. Curl the toes. Lift the knees, but keep them bent. Nicely bent, not just a little bent. Deep bend in the knees, but the knees off the ground. And then push forward with the hands, sending the buttocks back and folding the ribs toward the thighs. So press into the index fingers and thumbs even more. See if you can feel the length in the spine. And then just pull the left hip back and then the right hip back, side to side. Nothing's changing with the feet or the knees, just a little bit of a wag of the tail, lengthening back through each hip. And then we'll press the left heel down and straighten that leg. Pull the shoulders down the back, keep the body folded over toward the right thigh. Feel the pressure of the hands, lengthening your hips back. Feel where the breath goes. And then bend that left knee, straighten the right leg, and press the right heel to the ground. Let your chest drop toward your left thigh. Bend both knees. Walk the feet up to the hands. Chin to chest, roll yourself up. Reach the arms up as you inhale. And exhale, arms down. And two more like that. Beautiful. Relax the arms down. Good. And just feel the feet for a moment. Feel the breath. Let the toes spread wide across the floor. Let your weight sink into that left leg. Feel the whole bottom of the foot bearing your weight evenly. Staying connected to the feel of your breath, gently open your eyes, keeping your lids heavy, almost like your eyes are sleepy. I'm going to lift that right leg. If you need to hold on to something, it's fine. If you can practice it as a balance pose too, that's fine, but it's not about the balance. I'm going to lift the leg straight and clasp the hands either behind the back of the leg and have the leg straight. Those of you who can reach, you can have your hands to your foot if that still allows you to keep your leg straight. Good. Point and flex the foot. Good job. Now, if you want to challenge yourself, your gaze comes down to the floor. You move slowly. You start to walk your hands toward your foot if they're not already there, and you start to fold over your leg, bringing the gaze closer and closer to your left foot. Slow breath. And then we'll step that foot down in front. Still the right foot, leg straight. Beautiful. Square your hips, maybe bringing the left one a little more forward. Inhale into the chest. Exhale, fold over your leg, coming into pyramid pose. And then we're going to clasp the hands behind the back and lift the hands up as we drop the head down. Shoulders fold in toward the spine, shoulder blades. Eyes are open for balance. Breath is deep, long, and slow. Release the hands, bring them to the floor, bending the front knee. And then step that left foot all the way back, coming into a high lunge. Runner's lunge. Right foot still forward, left foot back. Good. You want your stance to be long enough so that your right knee is bent at about a 90-degree angle, if not even less, and the knee is over the ankle. And then you're pushing back through your left foot. And you're aiming your tailbone for your right foot. We're going to come into a downward dog. If you like to do a vinyasa and come into plank, chaturanga, upward dog, then downward dog, that's fine. Otherwise, we'll just all come into downward dog. So this is our first downward dog with both knees straight and both heels down. See how it feels, pushing forward through the hands, dropping the chest, dropping the head, pressing thighs back, heels down, breathing long, belly, ribs, chest. And then soften the knees, walk the feet up, lift the chin to the chest. And again, we'll take 3 arm circles, opening the chest and shoulders, opening the breath. And then relaxing the arms down. Feet are hip width apart, toes are spread, eyes are closed if that works for you. Just to deepen the connection of the internal experience. It's hard to stay connected to it as we open the eyes, but if we tap into that space for a few moments before we open the eyes, maybe it's easier to stay in it somewhat. And then shifting weight into the right foot and really playing with micro movements in space until you feel like your weight is over your foot evenly. And then staying connected to the feel of the rhythm of your breath, let your eyes open gently. Maintain that breath, lift your left leg, either take behind the leg or then flex the foot. If you're able to hold on to your foot in this position without bending your leg, you're welcome to do that. And then either stay here or challenge yourself by taking your eyes to the ground and folding over your straight leg, moving your hands toward your foot. And release the foot down in front. Left foot is in front. Hands on the hips just for a moment as we square the hips, bringing the right hip forward. I'm sorry, I forgot to suggest to note the cross of your thumbs in your last hand clasp, but you'll probably know which way you did it because that's the way you always do. We'll fold forward and we'll clasp the hands the opposite way that you want to, the more awkward way. And then we'll lift the hands up, letting the space between the shoulder blades soften and melt as the shoulder blades come in toward the spine. Relax the head down, push into the feet, lift the pubic area. Focus on your breath. Release the hands to the ground, bending the front knee, and take a giant step back with your right foot. Long enough stance so that the knee is over the ankle. You really want to protect your knees. If your knee is in front of the ankle, it's too much pressure on your knee. If your knee is right over your ankle, there's no pressure on the knee. So that's why I always emphasize that. It's not just theoretical, it's really helpful to keep your joints safe. And push back through the right heel. Tuck the tailbone under and aim it for your left foot. Okay. And this time we're going to step the back foot forward. Straighten the legs and fold over them. If you want a bigger stretch and you have that capacity, you can tuck your hands under your feet. If your hands are under your feet, you can try pulling them away from your feet. If your hands aren't under your feet, maybe you bring them to your calves or the backs of your legs and then push into the legs as you exhale. Okay. And release the hands, bend the knees, lower down onto your buttocks. We'll come slowly onto our backs. So maybe you want to rest your hands on your chest or have the arms forward or have them up. We'll lower slowly. Once you're on your back, we're going to lift the legs up and open them wide, flexing the feet. Hands can rest either on top of your thighs, at your inner thighs for weight, or below your thighs for support. Push out through the heels. Breathe deeply. Bring the legs up, bend the knees, and bring the feet onto the floor. Knees bent, feet hip width apart. We'll have the hands resting on either side of the body with the palms down. Breathing belly, ribs, chest, and then push into the feet, lift the hips, roll the shoulders under, clasp the hands if you can. If you can't, take hold of the outer edges of your mat and pull away from you with your hands. And even if you can't clasp your hands, you're welcome to do that. It's kind of a nice little assist. And if your hands are clasped under you, pull them apart and see if that can get your ribs a little higher. Push into your feet forward, get your hips a little higher. Breathe nice and deep. And then slowly lay your spine down. Take your feet off the ground, bring your hands against your thighs. Press your thighs into your hands and your hands into your thighs. Pull your belly toward your spine, pushing, resisting. And then relax, feet down. Lift your hips, tuck your tailbone, lower down. Release your legs, shake them out. If you have an eye pillow, place that on your eyes. Rest your arms out to the side. Take a breath in through the nose. Namaste, Michael. Exhale out of the mouth, releasing the weight of the body into the ground. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth, releasing the jaw, letting the lips gently part. Inhale through the nose, exhale out of the mouth, releasing the activity of the mind, letting go of words and images, focusing all of your attention on the feel of your breath as you let go of the breath as well. So the breath might be shallow or short. It might be irregular. It's all fine. Just let the breath do its thing and just be interested in it. Just watch it. If you notice that the mind has wandered, that's also fine. The mind does that. Just gently bring it back again and again. Deeply relaxed. Letting go. Letting go. Letting go. into your heart. Move fingers and toes. Reach the arms overhead. Take a deep breath, stretch long. Hug the knees to the chest, rocking gently side to side. Come center, rub hand to hand and foot to foot, waking up the energy in the body. And then roll over onto either side, resting your head on your bottom arm, resting your body on the ground, seeing what's here in this moment, physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically. And then slowly make your way up, back to sitting, any way that you're comfortable. Letting your sit bones sink into the ground and the spine lift toward the sky. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Inhale the heart up to the hands. Exhale, shoulders relax down. Inhale deeply, breathing in from bottom to top. Take it all in. Let it all go. Drop the chin to the chest. Namaste.